presented by Hindustan Times. Please welcome Chetan Bhagat in conversation with Meru Gokhale.
Hi everybody. I don't think it's working. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello and welcome to the last day of the Z Jaipur Literature Festival, and thank you for being here with us and with Chetan Bhagat. Please give him a big hand to welcome him. Now, most of you already know Chetan very well, but for those of you who've been living on the moon, I'm just going to do a very quick introduction. Chetan is only 40 years old. He's an author, he's a columnist, he's a screenwriter, and he quit his career as an investment banker to become a full-time writer. And he lives in Mumbai with his wife and children, who are also here with us, so welcome. And the New York Times has described him as the best-selling English language novelist in India's history, and his last book has sold over 2 million copies in just 3 months. Time magazine has named him as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. And his books include 5 Point Someone, One Night at the Call Center, The 3 Mistakes of My Life, 2 States, Revolution 2020, What Young India Wants, and most recently, Half Girlfriend. He has also written amazing screenplays, which have been huge Bollywood blockbusters, including Kai Po Che and Kick. So, I'm going to start by asking Chetan, tell us, how did you decide to become a writer?
Okay. First of all, hello. Hi. I thought nobody's going to come in the morning.
Yeah. I thought you were
now that they have, and you have decided not to run the marathon. You have run the marathon, and you came here. So I like to take 2 pictures of the crowd. This side, can you just laugh as if I said something very funny? And can you guys nod your heads like I said something so insightful? Okay. Okay, you guys just because you're pretty. Yeah. Okay, fine. It's not I'm not a photographer. And this is Meru. She's here with Random House. But my first ever Jaipur Lit Fest appearance was 6 to 7 years ago. And the moderator of the session was Meru's mother, actually. So this is kind of like legacy being passed down the generations. I feel like The Graduate right now. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, we haven't reached quite that point yet. But
yeah, and I remember I was talking to your mother and she said, you know, Chetan, I'm old enough to be your aunt. I said, yeah, but one of those hot aunts. And she still remembers that. She said, that's the best compliment anyone has ever given me. So you should compliment her more often. And it's really nice to do this with you.
Thank you, Chetan. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah. So in terms of how I became a writer, I mean, it really always had a fondness for writing in some form. A lot of fondness for entertaining people always. And
flattering them. Yeah.
No, I mean it. And I don't know, I did the right middle class thing by getting degrees, working in a bank, and still felt something is missing, you know, something you need to have, and which is apart from work. I never at that time, of course, thought that writing will become my work, but I thought my friends were bankers, they were playing golf, they were doing all kinds of things. So I like to write, so that's how I started writing, and that's how 5 Point Someone got written. And once that came out and it got a good response, then the journey began, and then it just grew and grew and grew, and and now I'm a writer, and even I don't know how it all happened actually.
And so you had a horrible boss, didn't you?
I did have a very horrible boss, and that acted as a catalyst actually, because I wanted to take revenge on him in office. So I had the LBDN strategy, which is look busy, do nothing. So, and you know, it's easy nowadays because there are so many apps and there are so many things you can do. You know, killing time has never been easier now than today now. But at that time, you really had to pretend. So I would like literally banking legal documents, and in the middle of the legal documents there was a romance scene, and then this is a legal document again. So when he would come, scroll up. When he goes, scroll down. So that's how it got written actually.
And so what's your boss, your former boss, up to now?
I don't know actually. I think he's still tormenting other people, you know, still promoting talent to come out in people. I don't know.
Now tell us a little bit about your writing process. How do you actually write? Because I'm guessing there are quite a few aspiring writers in the audience today. How many of you are out there?
Wow, man.
The rest of you are just shy, I'm telling you them more.
Okay. You know, it's two different kinds of writing I do. I write books and I write articles also, and articles are on a regular basis. So that's a different thing. I write, my column comes every 2 weeks. So one day every 2 weeks is when I write. I do spend a lot of time thinking about what I'm going to write, and then the actual writing part is may not be as long as it seems. But say if I'm writing a column for half a day, I would have been thinking about it for at least a week before. And for a book, it requires a lot more discipline. Anybody, there's so many writers here, they know it's one of those, it is like a marathon really. I mean, it is, everybody writes, you know. The thing about music and other things is, composing music is most people don't do that. So, but writing, everybody does. Everybody writes emails, messages, things like that. But to convert it to prose, to convert it to a longer piece of writing requires a certain training, certain discipline. Same as a marathon, everybody runs to the bus stop, but running a marathon requires training. So I break it down, I allocate a certain number of hours a day. It is still difficult. It's not like, you know, like it is like going to the gym sort of. Even people who are bodybuilders, they feel lazy, they don't feel like going. So it's not like once you become a popular writer, writing is so simple. It's still hard, and it still requires a lot of, जैसे रियाज जैसे बोलते हैं, like you need to practice and practice. So I make a plan and I say, okay, this year I'm going to write a book. So then I'm committed that year that that's what will happen. Then there are weekly goals and monthly goals, and that's how it happens. And
do you have any advice for the authors in the audience today?
Is to, I mean, just find your own voice. I think it needs find your own voice, and different people will give you different views on what writing should be. For me, writing is clarity. I think if you have clarity, that is beautiful writing to me. So beautiful clear writing comes when you have clear thoughts. I didn't say pure thoughts, which I don't have, but I said clear thoughts. So even my impure thoughts are very clear. So because if you have clear thoughts, then you can express yourself a little clearly. So that is why it's important to know what you are trying to say, and only you can say that. So don't try to copy anyone. Have clarity of your own mind, your own thinking. Don't clutter yourself with things, you know, like Facebook and this and that. If you have 20, 30 things cluttering you.
Except when you're being a banker.
Then it's different, yeah. Then you have to. But try to avoid. That's not the best way. Best is if you are serious about being a writer, your mind should be free to think. There should be spaces, time, so that you can think. Then only ideas will come.
So now, Chetan, you have had an incredible amount of commercial success as a writer, but you've also faced a lot of critics.
Yeah. I'm facing them right now. Some of them are sitting in the audience.
Well, I have a short video which I want to share with the audience about one of your critics.
I only gave you that.
Yes.
And now you're going to play it here.
Just taking credit here.
Oh.
So can we play this video, and then I want to ask you, after the audience has seen this video, how do you deal with your critics? Can we please have the video clip about the critic? Oh, it's there.
There.
That he's a hateful little third-rate person who's, who's literally worth zero and whatever, and so they sneer at him all the time and put him down. They say he can't write English, blah blah blah. And you should see the kind of rock star status that he's given. There's no point in us sneering at him and saying, but who reads Chetan Bhagat? Have you read Chetan Bhagat? I don't read Chetan Bhagat. Who cares whether you read it?
Have you read it?
No.
So that's one of your critics.
Yeah, there's plenty more in cyberspace. You can see them right now. You can see people can get very creative in their hate and criticism. Okay, you can take that clip away now. Okay. हो गया? ले ली मेरी?
हो गया.
Yeah, I know, man.
The whole audience is filled with impure thoughts.
I know.
Go on then.
What? I can't match that. It's been you write something, or it's like you write it because you like it. When you cook something, you taste the dish, and if you find it tasty, you serve it to other people, right? I mean, that's how the cooking process is. Now, same thing I do. I write a story, and if I like it, I serve it to the world. And if someone doesn't like your dish, then what can you say, right? I mean, it's not like they are lying. But that's okay, I guess. It's part of life. And when I was in my early days as a writer, it used to affect me a lot. Like in my first time in the JLF, I would never let a video like that play. I'm like, oh, what are you doing, right? But now I can laugh at it, and that's what I think. I don't know whether it's age or whether it's just the fact that, if someone slaps you every day for 10 years, you will start enjoying it at some point. So you look forward to it in the morning. Arey, aaj my morning coffee. So, and this applies in general to criticism in life. It's a human mind. If 50 people say in a party your dress is very nice, but the 51st person says, oh, what a horrible dress you're wearing, you will go back and think about that 51st person, in fact, so that's the human mind. So the way to not get affected by criticism is to not get affected by praise too much. So when I sat here and you were talking about all these tags that have been given to me or the copies sold and all that, I don't let that also go into me. I don't like with every sentence you're saying, I'm not like going like this, So if you don't let praise affect you, criticism will not affect you that much. And I think that's it really. But some criticism is valid. I mean, some of it is ranting and some of it is for entertainment, but some of it is valid. So that I try to take. But it's part of life, And also when someone criticizes something popular, it's not that they're just criticizing me. They're criticizing me and all my readers, right? Basically. So there's like almost a counterculture comment. So that's what's going on. But theek hai, chalta hai. I just use it now. Now I'm using them as my content for my talks. So it's good.
So now that you've developed such a thick skin, let's talk about politics.
Actually, Meru, it's not thick skin. See, an author cannot develop a thick skin. The moment an author develops a thick skin, which some people do actually, like an actor could, because all they have to do is look good. But an author has to observe the world. An author has to feel things. If they stop feeling, they won't write. So if I make a very thick skin somehow, it will not look nice, firstly, a thick skin. And secondly, it will take away something from my writing. And so the better analogy is the lotus, a lotus never gets dirty. If you notice, you've never seen a dirty lotus, even in a pond. And the scientific reason for that is that it's coated in wax. So it's still soft, it's still delicate, but it's got a wax coating, so it just flows away, So that's what you need to be in life. Be the lotus in the muddy waters. It's an old quote in Patanjali Yoga actually.
So now, since we're talking about the lotus.
No lotus in that way now, don't get so imaginative.
No, but tell us a little bit. You write a column or 2 columns a week, and you write about a whole range of subjects, including the young people of this country being interested and getting interested in politics. How are you a political person, and do you ever see yourself joining politics in the future? Your wife is sitting here, so you have to ask.
No, it's fine. Everybody's here. See, different writers write for different reasons. Some, and nobody's to say who's better and who's not, because it is the intention. Some people, and rightly so, see writing as an art form. So they want to write in the most beautiful artistic way possible, and they want acclaim for that, they want awards for that, and that's their journey in life, and that's wonderful. For me, I write for different reasons. Maybe I'm not as artistic anyway, but my job is to reach people and create change in society. That's one thing writing can do, is it can create change in society. So it's a 2-step process for me. First step is, how do you make change? First you have to reach people. Now if you just start lecturing people, nobody's going to listen. First you have to entertain people, right? So you see me doing books which are like romantic stories, and films, and even a film like Kick, which goes as mass. Some of you saw me on Comedy Nights with Kapil. I'll do anything for that reach, and that's why actually some people and critics get confused. What is he doing? What the hell is he doing? But I'm reaching people and purely entertaining them. Once I have their attention, then the step 2 for change is to talk about the country, talk about the changes that need to happen. And then they listen to me, they read my column because they saw 2 states. So in that sense, yes, I am political, because how do you bring about change? By talking about politics. You can't shy away from politics and talk about change. But joining a political party is a different ball game. All writers are political. When I say that, when I show a female character who fights with her parents because she wants to study or whatever, that's politics. It's right there, some gender politics happening right there. 2 states, even though it's a fun story, there's politics of community there. But joining a political party is, you lose something which is your independence. And I don't want to lose that. Even though it is quite in vogue these days, every time I switch on the TV, somebody is joining. I think tomorrow I'm just worried, Obama may like the Republic Day arrangement so much, he might join. मैं आ रहा हूँ बस, यहीं पे ठीक है अभी. So I don't think you need, and good people should join politics. So I am very happy that good people have joined politics. The class of Anna is now officially placed. Sabki placement ho gaya abhi, everybody is good. So good, you guys wanted to do good things for the country, you joined politics, now remain good, and that's the challenge for them. It's one thing to be good when you don't have a chance to be bad, it's one thing to be very honest when you had no chance to be corrupt. It's one thing to stay honest when you had all the chances to be corrupt. It's 2 very, very different things. So let's see what happens there. But for me, if I can be in a position of influence, if I can say, we need to pay attention to this. So for example, tomorrow you may see in Times is a special article on the education survey, that half our kids can't read or write in class 5 or something like that. And if I can scream, and politicians are forced to act in that direction, I think that's a better place for me than just joining and then you have to toe the party line, then you have to start praising everybody in the party suddenly, and so I feel that's where I am right now. So you will see me political, but you will not see me in a political party.
Now, coming back to what you said about influence and about the fact that you are at your heart an entertainer, tell us a little bit about your experience in Bollywood. You have written some screenplays. How was it different writing a screenplay from writing a book? And share some stories about Bollywood with us.
Yeah, so...
Do you ever get starstruck?
They're very pretty, yeah, those girls, my
Who's Salman Khan?
No, I don't, the guys I don't even look at, actually. No, I'm joking. It's Bollywood, actually, my interactions are mostly not so much with the actors. My interactions are mainly with the directors and producers. It happened a little bit by accident, you can say, like some filmmakers read the books and they were interested and they made it. in the beginning there were a lot of hiccups, there was all sorts of controversies and things like that, but it kind of stabilized. But where really I got lucky was the films. What matters in Bollywood is hits. That's what keeps you going. Because it's so expensive to make a movie that it must recover cost and
the pressure must be so immense.
Yeah, so Three Idiots, Kaipuche, because and Two States, Kick, all those have worked. So slowly you can say I'm familiar with my space there, but I'm not a Bollywood person, still.
Why not?
Because actually there are very few celebrities I get starstruck by, and one of them is A.R. Rahman, who I met once. It was really incredible. He had just come back from the Oscars and 2 Oscars on the table, just like lying
Casual.
there, like these glasses. I said, is this the Oscar? He said, yeah, ye do hai. It's quite, and can I touch it? So it's very heavy. I said, so tell me about it. How was it? And this, that. He's like, I didn't eat rice for 5 days to look thin. And I was like, really? That's the most momentous thing. And then I asked him, what do you think I should, this was like many years ago. So he said, Chetan, in Bollywood, keep 1 foot in and 1 foot out, always. It's like a crocodile pond. You can be on the side and take a bath, but don't swim inside fully because you lose something. So that is what is happening, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It is an amazing platform for me because books can only go so far and films go much further. But when I did Half Girlfriend and I saw the response to it, when the movie started coming, I started thinking like, who will care about my books now? People will only watch. But Half Girlfriend had a bigger response than even the movies. So the books remain my first love, and Bollywood is my half girlfriend.
Now, since you've spoken about first love, all of your books have a common theme, and they are about the complications and the relationship between boys and girls quite early on in their lives. Do you think in India there are different circumstances and a different set of difficulties which young boys and girls have to face? And do you have any advice for the Romeos and Juliets in our audience today?
There's lots of advice actually, but that's a separate
I'm sure they'll ask you later.
Separate session for that. Yeah, I think, at the heart of it, even though it is structured like a love story, at the heart of it, India is traditionally been a very collective society. It's not an individualistic society. Families are very important. The extended clan, log kya kahenge, is a very big deal. Log kya kahenge is much bigger than मैं खुद को क्या कहूँगा. हम खुद को कुछ नहीं कहते. जो लोग कह रहे हैं वो ही करना है. But now you have a society which is in a flux. Now you have the younger generation which is becoming individualistic, and again no judgment what is right or wrong, but they are now having the whole selfie, for example, why are they so popular? Because it's ultimate individual expression. It's me taking a picture of myself. It's me, my music and my EDM and my everything. So love has to exist in this context, in this turmoil, that love is a very individualistic emotion. When you fall in love with someone, it's you falling in love with that person. But at the same time, you want your parents to be happy, you care about what your friends think. So I think that makes Indian love stories a little different from the Hollywood love stories, for instance. And that is why if you notice sometimes when they cut paste the Hollywood over here, it doesn't work so well because it's a different society. So it's just that, I think that is one big difference that's happening, that tradition versus modernity, collective versus individual, these things I try to clash in my love stories, and I think they connect better to Indians because of that.
And the women in your love stories,
yes,
they're all strong, individual. We're going to play a clip now of some of the female characters in Chetan's books. And can you tell me why, after we show the clip, why are all your female characters this way? Can we play the clip, please?
बियर है?
तुम साउथ इंडियन नहीं हो?
तमिलियन. मैं शुद्ध ब्राह्मण हाउसहोल्ड से हूँ.
दिख रहा है.
एक रात की कहानी है 6 लोगों की. ये ऐसा वैसा फोन नहीं था। उस रात भगवान का फोन आया था।
मजा है जिंदगी, नशा है जिंदगी, धीरे धीरे चढ़ेगी।
गूगल के पास हर चीज का जवाब मिल जाएगा, लेकिन इसका नहीं। मेरी लाइफ की सबसे बड़ी ट्रेजेडी।
This for you.
ये शायना भी कैसा लग
All right. That Salman Khan was mainly for Meru.
Yeah.
She is a self-admitted. what do you-
Bitard. Yeah.
Okay, there is a term like that. Well, those are just a snapshot of the. You know, I feel very strongly about gender issues, even though I am not of the female gender. But that doesn't mean you can't feel. It's, you know, a writer's job is to perceive, and I know that there is a long way to go as far as gender equality is concerned in India. It's almost become a tradition. It's become a culture that women, thoda chup raho tum log, you know, you don't speak in meetings, you don't talk much, you don't assert yourself. And we see, I mean, one is of course crimes against women, which is at the other extreme, and that is getting a lot of attention, and that's horrible. But even on a general level, we have this thing where, you know, women are not seen as equals, and therefore their dreams, their goals, their hopes are not really brought to the forefront so much as men. So when I make a female character, it's a chance for me to make a fictional role model of sorts. All these girls take charge in the books. They are driving the story actually. If you read, even though there is a protagonist, the girl is always the stronger one. And the idea is that a girl in a small town reads it and she feels, okay, you know, this is also how an Indian girl can be. And she doesn't have to be pure all the time, and she doesn't have to be right all the time. She can make mistakes, but she's still very lovable. And they're all kind of ambitious, they're all kind of working. I'll give you an example of Kick, for example. Kick is a Telugu adaptation. And in the Telugu movie, which is the only Telugu movie I've seen, and I saw it 27 times. It's very different from the Kick that finally came out. But the girl, Elena, was there, and there is no profession. She doesn't need to. She's just in love with the hero, that's enough. But for me, one of the changes I did was, so Salman is a guy who lives for his kick. So he's looking at adrenaline rush and all that. So I thought it would be interesting to have his love interest be a psychiatrist. And Jacqueline, who had not done these kind of films, first time she was wearing glasses, and she's actually shown in a, you know, as somebody who has a professional and things like that. So I think it's important we do this, and this is also politics. This is when you show women in popular culture as taking charge, being career oriented, having dreams, having ambition, asserting themselves, it somewhere sends a message in society that this is how things need to be. So this is my little contribution.
And is there an autobiographical element to this? Do you have a lot of strong women in your life?
They are all strong, too strong. My mother brought me up, and then my wife is a very strong person. My mother-in-law is very stronger. I don't know what's so funny about that, but
Nothing.
see, yeah, but I get into trouble
Nothing is
because
funny.
they say you're making mother-in-law jokes. I didn't say anything.
You haven't made a joke.
I just said she's very stronger. She's stronger than my wife, which she will agree to. And then, you know, in the publishing world, there are so many women who are editors, and of course Kapish is here, but in Rupa itself there's so many editors. In my own company, it's the people who work with me, help me, all women. So there's a lot of female energy behind my success, and I think this is my contribution. I think I get very, you know, when people say, wo bhi, and the way, even the way we approach feminism in India is still like, you know, हमारी बहनें हैं, हमारी बहू है, हमारी बेटी है,
हमारी mother-in-law है,
हमारी mother-in-law तो नहीं कहते खैर, पर उनसे तो डरते हैं, इनका ध्यान रखना चाहिए, you know, वो तो ये, so I don't, they are not daughters and wives and that, they are human beings. That's the most important thing. No, they are Indians. They are Indian citizens who deserve as much rights as the male Indian citizens. As simple
Please
as that.
give him a big hand.
So, and until the men do it, it's not going to happen. You know, women can keep coming and screaming and saying, give us, give us. It won't happen till
The
some
men
men
are
also
also-
fight for it. And it doesn't have to be men versus women. That's the other problem that happens in feminism. Ki if women have to win, men have to lose. It's not like that. That's not the case. We are talking of equal rights. We are talking of something that they also need to, the same things which men have. We are not saying we'll take this from men and give it to women. We are saying if I have the freedom to walk on the street and nobody comes and grabs my purse or shoves a finger up my nose, for example, you know, nobody can come and say, hey, I got so turned on by your nose, I want to shove a finger up. You can't do it, no? And this for men, it's like, what is this? This is not acceptable. It's the same logic actually. You can't do it to somebody who you can't.
Yeah,
so
don't
these
shove your finger up anybody's nose.
No, you can't invade people's personal space even. Forget about, I'm just giving an exaggerated example. So these issues have to be brought like to the forefront, and I thought this is something I can do. And it is not a political party issue. It applies to everybody.
It's a human issue.
It's a human rights issue actually.
Now, I could sit here and talk to you all day, but I know that the audience will have a lot of questions. So before we open up the floor to the audience, I just want to close by asking you, can you just give us a sense of what is a day in the life of Chetan Bhagat like? Tell us about your day, a normal, ordinary day in your life.
Well, there's no ordinary days anymore. No, but because actually, if you ask me for a regular day, that is when I'm in Mumbai, when I'm staying at home and not traveling. And I say it's not ordinary because we're bringing up 2 boys, and that's quite a challenge. But normally, they go to school, and I try to go to the gym. I don't like it, but I have to, unfortunately. What to do? And now I'm doing this Reebok plan also, and oh my God, it's so difficult, man. And in Jaipur,
how many days in are you?
I started on 1st January, so it's like a 23 days, but yesterday doesn't count. That Litfest parties are like undoing 10 days of work. And then
so there's been a little bit of cheating.
More than a little bit. You know, like what I eat on a daily basis, when Bollywood people eat like that, they call it a cheat day. So it makes me what you can tell. But, and then if I have some writing to do, I'll do it in the afternoon. So that's how it happens. I go check my emails, I sit down to work around 10 o'clock, then till lunch I'm just responding to admin stuff, mails, Facebook, Twitter, XYZ. By that time I start feeling super guilty, and by 2:30 I'm very guilty. So then by 2:45 I close the internet and I say, okay, I got to write now. And so I start writing, and I write till 5, 6, whatever, and then I call it a day and come home, and that's how it is. It's nothing very spectacular also, but yeah, like I said, it is a discipline. This discipline comes part of the writing process. So that's what it is.
Well, thank you for sharing all of these answers with us, and thank you to the audience. And we're going to open it up for questions now. But can I please request, please tell us your name, and please keep your question brief. And also please make sure it's a question and not a statement. Okay, who's going to go first? This young man over here. Do we have 2 mics?
Sir, you told that the girls also get the equal right. So why the government is not making so big laws for them?
Okay, how old are you?
13.
Oh, firstly, I'm very impressed. When I was 13, I couldn't have had the guts to ask the first question. So, and that too, what a question. Like, I mean, like, why the government? Well, I think, the government can make some laws. The laws are there. The laws are not like, there are no laws in the country that say that men will have more rights than women. The laws are all there. In fact, some men even argue that the laws are in favor of women. The problem is in implementation, and not everything is something the government or the laws or parliament can do. What matters is how people think. And it is a slower process. You can pass a law in a day, But changing society's attitudes towards women, that cannot happen in a day. That will take a few years. So it's the cultural level also. You can make a law, don't litter on the road, but people are still throwing. The law is there that don't litter on the road. It's not like India doesn't have that law. Singapore has it, India has it. In Singapore, people don't. Over here, they do. One, the law is implemented. The second is people don't make it dirty. People in Singapore feel this is also my home, so I will not make it dirty. Same applies to gender laws, what you're talking about. So it is cultural more than the legal.
First of all, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Tell us your name.
I'm Chetan Mohan. And sir, first of all, one more thing, a big thank you.
Okay.
As in, you have literally got India reading.
Thank you.
Okay. And so I'm shaking, I'm sorry.
Don't shake.
Sir, I've always been curious, as in, can one man's life be so interesting? As in, dating a professor's daughter in 5.1 or going to Chennai for a girl in 2 states. So, are those real things, or did all those things happen in your life?
You're blushing.
Well, I did marry a Tamil girl, and she's here. And as far as the professor's daughter is concerned, she's also happy somewhere today. Yeah, it can happen. Why can't it happen? You can meet 2 people. I mean, it's not that, people are fighter pilots and people go on space missions. All I'm talking about is dating 2 different women in 10 years. So that's okay.
Yeah. We can't hear you.
Good morning, my name is Khadija Alvi and I've read all your books.
Thank you.
I just want to ask you one question here, that how do you bring the element of reality in your novels? Like, did you really go to Varanasi, Gujarat or such places that you brought all those elements so beautifully?
See, when someone magician is showing you a trick, you don't ask ki kaise kiya, kaise batao kaise. So I would hate to reveal everything, but they are real because there is a lot of reality in them, and there is a lot of research and travel actually. Like, for example, Half Girlfriend is on Bihar, so I had to spend time in Bihar. I had to spend time in Patna. I had to understand what the culture is, what the food is, what the whole thing is. Because a lot of my readers are Bihari, so they would read the book and say, "Ye kya bakwas likhi, ye thoda na hota hai." But that has not happened. People have read it in Patna and said, "Oh wow, how did you know? This is exactly how it is." So that's why. And I am writing real stories also. Frankly, I was discussing, it's easy for me, because if you're writing mythology and all, you have to create that whole world, right? You have to create, there was a kingdom in so many BC or whatever, and then tell how people were, what did they wear. If I write normal stories, so I can say, he went to Yes Bank branch. So you know what Yes Bank branch looks like, right? So it is easier for me, and that makes it more real for you, because a lot of elements in the book are from your real life.
Can I ask you a follow-on question from this? Do the people around you ever feel like, oh, I shouldn't tell Chetan anything because he might put it in a book?
They do that, but I tell them I never do it like that. But I will never do it without permission. I will never.
So
I'm not a journalist in that way, right? Oh, he said this, chalo, abhi dalo. And frankly, there is more fiction than people think. It just looks real, and it's almost take it as a compliment.
It is.
But it's no animals and humans were hurt in the process.
The lady at the back there.
I'm Sarojini. Chetan, I'd like to ask you, you spend more time checking your emails than just 3 hours writing. How do you manage writing 2 columns and producing a book a year? I just can't believe it. Another little question, can I ask your wife, does he spend enough time with you after all this?
I think I knew my mother-in-law will send an agent, Knew it. I've seen you on morning walks with her. Well, I'll let my wife answer the second part. But as far as ma'am, see, you are writing for 3 hours, but you're thinking for 30 hours. So the actual, 3 hours of writing is a lot actually. If you write 3 hours, but what matters is the thought that goes behind. And the books, I write once in 2-3 years, not one a year. So it's quite, manageable, I would say. But most writers, if they can write 3 hours non-stop a day, that's huge. I mean, that's a big, but even I can't do even 3 hours. It's very tiring. It's very exhausting to really, Anusha.
And are we going to have,
is the mic for
she
Anusha?
wants to answer your mother-in-law's agent's question.
Yeah. Say hi to
Please
Anusha,
say hi to Chetan Bhagat's wife.
Hi.
Give her a big welcome.
Hi everyone. That was actually a great question, and once my father actually asked the same thing to Chetan. My father likes to read newspapers from cover to cover. It takes him 2 hours to read. Chetan in half an hour will read 2-3 newspapers. He would have, by the time my father finishes one newspaper, Chetan's put 2-3 tweets on this issue, that issue, and my father was very surprised. He said, "You hardly spend any time. How do you manage to comment on everything?" So I think he probably has a...
What is going on here? Huh? It's my session है, मेरी बजाए जा रहे हैं. घर वालों से लेके critics सब लग गए. चलो.
No, but I think he does probably have an ability to process a lot of information faster than some of us, which is why he is so prolific. That was why that was the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
Nice comeback. हम तो ये कहना चाह रहे थे.
But as far as him being a family man is concerned, he does go through phases. When he's in the middle of his editing, etc., he's very hard to be around. So I just have to, all of us are walking on eggshells around him. But once he's done with all of his writing process, he tries to make up for it and make up for all the time that he spent, with his book and his idea, and he does make up for it very well.
Actually, initially, when I used to write books, whatever the girl's name was, so if it's like whatever, Riya, I'd start calling Anusha Riya at home. So I'd say, "Oh, Riya," and then I got into trouble for it few times. So then I'm like, "You are Anusha, right?" So that's not so bad.
I think the mother-in-law's report is going to be filed by this evening.
Yeah, I know, man.
You over there.
Apart from being a banker...
Tell us your name, please.
My name is Kapil Mehta. And apart from being a banker and a great novelist, what is the other profession you want to proceed if possible?
अभी और करें कुछ.
If possible.
I want to, I like cooking. I would like to be a chef. I think I would like to maybe teach. I don't know, some of these things. I don't know if I'll ever be able to because time-wise. But these are some things I do like, yes.
Over here.
Hi, my name is Minal. My question is, why always a girl has to suffer the trauma of acid attack when she denies a relationship?
यार मैंने मेरे को
Not
क्या बता दिया? Sorry यार. यही अब आप सारे मर्दों का गुस्सा मुझ पे तो मत निकालो. No, it's bad, but it comes from that only, that people violate, and people, it's an abuse of why men are not strong enough to take a denial. I mean, because they are weak. I mean, what can I say? And also, it's not just that they are not strong enough to take denial. It is okay for men to feel that my feelings are more important than hers. She cannot hurt me, she cannot reject me because I'm a man. So that is actually gender politics. The heart of it is this only. So that the woman has the right to reject a man, and the man desires a woman, and the woman has the right to reject. So that is at the friction point of gender politics, really. Men are stronger, have more muscles, have those things, but women have a power that they can deny, and they don't feel like they show in the Axe deodorant ads. Never, right? So that is the heart of it. Actually, it's a long discussion, but it comes from a place where women are not valued equally in society. He wouldn't do it to another man. If another friend betrayed him, he won't do it, but he would do it to a girl because he feels she's lower than me. So that's the heart of it. Yeah.
Hi Chetan, I am Abhishek Saraogi and I've got a story.
Story फिर सुनेंगे. अभी सवाल पूछ लो या किसी और को पूछने दो.
All your books start with this preface that you met someone who has a story. So
Oh,
at least
that
I
way.
got to have a 2-hour session with you.
हाँ, तो फिर अलग से कभी करना पड़ेगा. Okay.
So do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. We grew up with reading your books last 12, 13 years, and from college to maturity level. And now we want that you also graduate from college books to some maturity love stories.
So I'm immature now. आप mature हो गए हो?
The readers have grown up,
So you
which we have started reading because of you.
No, definitely. I mean, I don't want to be totally repetitive either. I really wanted to do a nice full-blown romance like Half Girlfriend, like a proper, there is no denial that it's a love story, there is nothing else to it. So I wanted to do that. But after that, it doesn't mean I'll only do that. So the next book will be very different. You may have people of a different age. You know, I'm very keen to do a book from a female point of view. It's very difficult because you have to write what's happening in a female's mind. That actually even women don't know. So how will a man know? So there are a lot of ideas actually. So
Can you tell us a little bit more about your next book? Or is it
there
too
is
early?
no, I really don't have an idea right now. I just had Half Girlfriend out.
But he was about to tell you a story.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not ready yet.
Let's get a question from the back of the audience.
Yeah.
There are quite a few people there.
Thank you guys for standing. I know it really is difficult.
Who has the mic? Okay, can you just give it to that person over there? Yeah.
Hello. Hi, I'm Gitanjali, and I have a question. As a budding writer, when we start writing and put our words on paper, and then we ask someone to read it, it's such a fear that how the person will react. So as a budding writer, what advice you would like to give to people like us, how to overcome this fear after we have penned down our words?
Well, it's not just writing, it's a fear of failure, of trying anything. I mean, whether you write or whether you start a business or whether you take an exam, a lot of times we don't want to do things because we are scared of failing. So we don't even try. So, and I mean, I guess what you're talking centers around motivation and how you must, I mean, overcome this because, and it's got nothing to do with talent actually. It's whether you have a talent or not is separate. But this mental attitude is important in life that it's okay. I can deal with humiliation, I can deal with shame, I can deal with a bit of failure. Maybe one day I can even laugh at it, you know. And you need to get past that because if you don't, then you won't even try. So it's I think you just have to motivate yourself. It's a very simple one-line answer is work on motivation, read books, see videos, whatever to motivate yourself to overcome the fear of failure.
Do you still have a fear of failure? Do you still
much
write
less.
in spite of all of the success?
I think we all human beings are a little bit insecure. So I would be lying if I say there is none, but it's a lot less than before. I think I have a fear of disappointing myself. I have a fear of not writing for the right reasons maybe or getting swayed by a trend or something. That is a bigger fear in me than failure. As long as I have written a book that I wanted to write and I am very happy with it, I am okay. The external is less important now.
Let's get something from this side of the audience because I think we've covered. Please go ahead.
Your every work cannot be great, you know.
Sorry, what's your name, please?
Sorry, Tarushi.
Hi.
Hello. Your every work cannot be great. So don't you get frustrated when you work on a book for 2-3 years and you don't get what you wanted? Like, it's not that great and you just throw it up.
It's an interesting question. Firstly, I mean, greatness is, I don't decide whether it's great or not, but what you are saying is you start working on something and then sometimes it doesn't come out the way you like. And it happens a lot in movies. It happens a lot in movies because movies have lots of people working. So initially 4 or 5 guys imagine a movie, that writer, director, producer, and say we're going to make this movie. But then you have to involve hundreds of people by the end of it and it doesn't turn out the way you thought it is and then it doesn't work in the box office or whatever. So it's a part of, it's one of the things, part of an artistic journey. You will start to make a painting and it doesn't come out the way you wanted. You can edit, you can redo it, but largely you can't, like I remember doing one night at a call center and I don't know, I just had this thing, I'll do an entire book in one night and that too in a call center, which is not if it was like a murder in one night or something, still you can do more things. But call center is like an office. Now what do you do? So, but I had committed to it and I was halfway through it, and I don't think it came out as well as I would have liked it to be, frankly, but it's okay. It was still, maybe it's a little flawed, but still some people liked it. Some parts I liked. So it does happen, and you can't do much about it really. But you don't have to be so attached that I have to make a masterpiece every time. Real artists just write, and okay, the next time I'll do something else, it's fine. You know?
Chetan, a big part of being a writer is also reading books.
Yeah.
So tell me, who are your favorite authors?
Actually, I like to read authors which have written simply and have had a big impact, because that's what I'm kind of trying to replicate. So, and I get particularly drawn to certain classic writers. Because I like romance stories. So I'm very fascinated by Jane Austen's plots, for example, which not many men read, but I read it because.
Well, if you want to understand the mind of
a woman. Mind of a woman, it's amazing, but it's still a mind of a 200-year-old women. Today's minds are different, but those, or like a George Orwell, or any book which I feel is very simply written. I read this book called The Room. I don't know if you heard about it, about a little child trapped in a room. Anything which is a different concept, different experiment, I try to read those books.
I think we are running out of time, so we have time for maybe one more question. Yeah. Let's have a young member of the audience from here. He's been waiting for a long time.
Okay.
He's had his hand up the whole time.
Okay, poor thing.
Tell us your name.
Hi.
Good morning, sir. I'm Rishabh. And
How old are you, Rishabh?
I'm 13.
Okay, cool. 13 is the new cool.
It's a lucky number.
I mean, 13 is the new 28.
So I wanted to ask you that, don't you think that it's the roots of our living being that's spreading gender inequality, because of there are some verses in the Bible that say that it is Eve the lady who makes the mistake of eating the apple, which throws humankind out of the Garden of Eden.
I don't know what they feed the 13-year-olds around here.
Give me the mic. What school are you in?
Yeah.
I'm in Nirja Modi.
My God, what do I?
It's all yours, Chetan.
So you think the Bible is to blame, you feel, somewhere?
No, actually, it's not the Bible that's to blame. The Bible is a very good thing, but I think it's the...
I am just blown away by how smart you are, okay, and how incredibly articulate you are, and how you are able to connect so many concepts. And so firstly, please accept my congratulations. Our religious texts tended to be that way. You know, our society in medieval times, much before that, tended to be that way, where men were kept at the forefront and women were not. In many religions, clearly women's status is different. But we are talking of modern society, and while religious beliefs has some place, gender equality is got less to do with religion than just pure humanity, I feel. So just naturally, I feel equality is good. No religion needs to tell me that equality is good. No constitution needs to tell me equality is good. As a human being, I feel he should have the same rights, he should have the same protection that I have. So that is equality to me. So that's how I think. But I'm still blown away by the whole question he's asking. Yeah. At 13, I'd be like, did you meet Alia Bhatt? But he's like asking Bible and Eve biting the apple, man.
I don't think we can top that question.
Do you read my books? I mean, are they too low for you? I mean, I don't know.
He's saying no.
He's like, no, come on. I have to work harder, I will.
Well, I don't think we can top that question.
Can we have one more?
Okay, why don't you choose this one?
This girl. This little girl. Is it a heavy question?
Can you top that question?
Actually, we should ask the older people. They ask the lighter simple questions. And आपको सिखा के भेजा था क्या टीचर ने? क्या चक्कर क्या है? What is this?
My name is Soumya Udani. I want to ask that there was a role in Twist Shades of a Father.
Good. Yes.
It was too touching, I think so.
Okay.
And what is the definition of father through your point of view?
My definition of father is pretty simple. But I think again heavy question, yaar. ये क्या हो रहा है यहाँ?
Let me make you.
But yeah, two states. But since you mentioned father,
Sorry, can I just say that all your books you have, your main character has a difficult relationship with his father. So can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, so that's why I thought it comes from my own, I think, because I've had a difficult one. And Two States was written for that. Two States was a father-son story to me. It just happened to be love, marriage, Tamil, Punjabi, and that's what it became known for. But why Two States connects and why it touches you is that relationship actually, which is running through, and because the boy and girl fall in love pretty fast. So that love story is pretty secure. But it's the boy and his father's relationship. I think, I've always felt because of that, I've missed a father figure sort of in my life, and I don't know whether you call it a definition of a father, but just somebody who can guide you and somebody be an inspiring figure. So it doesn't have to be, it can come from anywhere. Later on in life, it may not be your actual father. You may get inspired by some people, you may get inspired by role models and all. So they are like father figures or mother figures also. Why should there just be father figures, right? So yeah, that's how it is. But my God, these kids are smart, man. I can't deal with this. Anybody has a simple, light question? Really like simple, common man question. आम आदमी question. कोई आम आदमी का सवाल है?
यहाँ कोई है?
Can my friend ask one question also? Can my friend?
Okay. But your friend is going to be equally smart now.
This has to be the last question because we have to be.
अच्छा क्या?
Like you've written the book 3 Mistakes of My Life. What are the 3 big mistakes of your life that you regret?
I have No. Okay.
You asked for this one.
Go home, read Half Girlfriend. Bas. Let's end it here. Okay,
Well,
I think we really are running out of time. This is really, really fun. But
and thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. And please give him a big hand.
Giving Meru a big hand.
Thank you
and the
very,
people
very
who
much.
did the video and everybody. And thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Keep reading books. Just read books. Not just mine. Anybody's. Just keep reading books. That's what this fest is all about. So yeah.
Thank you.
We wish to thank Chetan Bhagat and